on the Road Show is a product of Murdoch Worldwide Entertainment. Now on the Road Show. This is entertainment all up in your face.
Why not one big company?
What was your inspiration or the idea that made you come up with Fantastic Four?
Well, my publisher said that DC Comics had a book called The Justice League, I thought it was Justice Society or something like that, and it was selling very well. And he said, why don't we do a book with a few heroes and one story? So at that time, we didn't have any superheroes. I think we were doing monster books at that time. So I said, okay, but I couldn't take a superhero from different books and put them together like the Justice League. I had to make up a team of superheroes to begin with because we didn't have any others. So I figured I would try to do it differently. For example, the man with a superpower, Mr. Fantastic, he wouldn't keep it a secret like Clark Kent that he's really a superhero. And the girl would know who he is. And in fact, they'd be engaged to be married. And she'd have a superpower too, just like if Lois Lane had a superpower. Then I felt, I want to get a teenager in there, but I'll tell you a secret. I hate teenage sidekicks. I always felt if I were a superhero, there's no way I would hang with a teenager. At the very least, people would talk. But the publisher liked to have him, he wanted to have a teenager in there. They always feel if you have a teenager in the story, then teenagers will read the story. You know, it's nonsense. There were no teenagers in Robin Hood and in any famous story in the world. They didn't throw teenagers in there. But anyway, so I figured I'll have a teenager, but I'll let him be one of the superheroes, and I'll make him the brother of the girl who's engaged to the man. Then I figured I want a guy who's real strong, but I'll make him half monster, but I'll make him funny, but he's tragic funny. I don't know, now that I think of it, I said a very tough project for myself. But anyway, that's what I was thinking of, because I wanted it to be different. And I did it, and that was it. We were lucky, and it worked. Mainly, I think, because Jack Kirby drew it so beautifully, and there we were. You're welcome.
How did you think of the concept for Ultimo?
The concept for Ultimo is the Japanese thing. Isn't that Japanese comic I'm doing?
Yeah.
Sometimes they all get homogenized in my mind. Somebody asked me if I would come up with something for a Japanese publisher. And I thought the word Ultimo was a good name. And I wrote the outline of what I thought it should be. Because the Japanese love things that are symbolic and metaphysical and so forth. So I figured I'd have somebody who represented the ultimate force for good, opposed to somebody who represented the ultimate force for evil. And I don't remember, I think the good one was supposed to be Ultimo, but I think they changed that. And that was it, and I just gave them the idea, and then they had their own writer and artist run with it. So they've been doing it, it's been very successful, and they even have English versions now that are sold in this country. And if it's a big success, I'll take the credit for it. If it isn't, I'll say, I didn't have much to do with it.
One last thing, is Ultimo a boy or a girl?
You know, I don't know. No, I'm not sure who Ultimo is, because I don't know if Ultimo is the good one or the bad one, or is some other character in the story that I haven't met yet. Frankly, both of them, the way the artist drew them, they both look a little bit effeminate to me. Both of the good and the bad character. They weren't the way I had envisioned them. I can't explain it. You go out and get a copy of Ultimo and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
I have a feeling that was a very unsatisfactory answer. I'm ashamed of myself. And I never thought of it. I really don't know which one is Ultimo. I don't know who Ultimo is. But it was my name. I better go read that again.
Hello, it's an honor. You've said that one of your favorite superheroes that you created is Spider-Man, and I've always loved Iron Man. But who's your favorite superhero in which you did not have any part in creating?
Well, if I didn't create it, it wouldn't be my favorite. There was a character that DC had, and I don't think they have him anymore, so maybe it didn't work well. I thought he was great, and I don't remember his name. Maybe you've seen it a few years ago. He was the roughest, toughest guy. He was a bad guy. What was it? Lobo, yeah. I thought Lobo was great. I wish I had made that up. But that shows what I know. The thing probably died. But that was a good character. I can't think of any others.
One more question. You look great for your age. What is your secret to your longevity?
Well, I'll tell you, the thing that keeps you in condition is worry. But you can't do it casually. I have a formula. You must spend 1 hour a day dedicated to worrying. You just lock yourself in a room if you must, because you don't want to be disturbed. And you do intensive worrying for that hour. The minute the hour is over, you stop, and until the next day at that time, you don't worry about a goddamn thing.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a lame question. I'm sorry. Okay. I was just hoping you would start talking about your pre-superhero stuff, your funny animal comics. What was it like to work on Ziggy Pig with Al Jaffe? Could you describe that experience?
Al Jaffe, he and I worked on animated type comics and humor comics.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, he was a genius. He was wonderful. We did a strip called, I still remember, Silly Seal and Ziggy Pig. Now a classic. I can't remember any details, but again, I would give him just the rough idea of what I wanted. He would draw it, then I would put in the dialogue, and I think we did one called Super Rabbit, you know, things that have become classics. But there was a time before the superheroes at Marvel in the early days that we did a lot of animated books and teenage books. You all know Archie. Well, we had books like Millie the Model and Nellie the Nurse and I think Georgie and Willie, and they were all like Archie. They were copies of Archie, except of course I think we did them better. And, there was a period we did so many, and Terry Tunes. We did Heckle and Jekyll and Mighty Mouse. And I loved doing those. But then we got to do crime books and war books and romance books and then super westerns. We did 1 million westerns. The superheroes became popular. It's a funny thing. All the other type of books and all the other genres, whether western or horror or mystery, they would last a few months or a year or two, and another genre would replace them. But ever since the superheroes came along, they have been the most popular, best-selling ones of all. They've outsold everything else, and they continue to do that. So for some reason, superhero stories are certainly, apparently, the most popular type of stories there are. That's very, I hope you were all taking notes.
I'm afraid that's the last time and the last question we have, you guys. So thank you. Mr.
I just noticed a bad thing. I think there's somebody who's been photographing that in the back, and I've had the microphone in front of my face, and the photographs are going to come out terrible. So can we do this all over again?
Rampage Fitness Academy is located at 23681 Via Linda, Suite A, in Mission Viejo, California, 92691. Call them at 949-830-7267. Cardio kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, regular boxing, yoga, or women's classes only. Rampage Fitness Academy has it all. Check them out at rampagefitnessacademy.com.